Welcome back, everybody, to Achievement Hunting 101. This is level 331, which finally is a prime number, and is also, it's also primed to be the best episode of the year. It's going to be it, hands down. It's also a prime time to introduce ourselves. I am Elroy OMJ, and he is not Optimus Prime, but rather Eximus Prime, whom are both heroes. How's it, man?
I was wondering where you were going with that, but that was a solid intro, man. I dig
Thanks,
it.
man. Thanks.
I dig it.
Best intro of the
year. So far. So far. We will have many more prime numbers, worry not. But yeah, man, I've been pretty good. I kept this a secret from you, actually, so that I could surprise you in real time. We did get our second kitty.
Oh,
she
fantastic.
She's gonna be a project, but there's something about her that we both kind of liked her. So she doesn't present well, is what we were told. So she was scheduled to be euthanized. She's only 6 months old.
What?
And then the foster home was like, we can't do that. So the foster brought her in, and in a familiar environment where we met her in the foster home, she was super sweet. We tried putting her in the cage. She wanted nothing to do with that. And now she's kind of been shut down in our bathroom for 4 days. So she's slowly opening up, and we'll get her there. But she deserves a good life, and we're gonna give it to her.
That's awesome,
So,
man.
but Sophie Starfruit is her name, like
Well,
Ziggy Stardust, but Sophie Starfruit.
I love it. Love it. That is a great name there. Is she high energy enough, or do you think she will be for the meth head?
Yeah, when we met her in the foster home, she was going crackhead mode for the laser pointer. She loves catnip, so it's just she needs to be in a safe, familiar environment to open up, and she'll figure out we have one of those for her pretty soon.
That's awesome. That's really cool, man. That's well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And publicly, I want to say thanks for the wonderful Christmas card. That was very sweet. For those of you that were not on the cool list, it was Miku in a stunning ribbon. Just wonderful Christmas card. Awesome. It was so cute. What's new in, I guess, in my life is that I'm finally done with New Year's and Christmas and all that stuff. I guess everyone is, but for me, it was a lot of travel. I went.
That's usually how that works.
Yeah. Some people, I guess, I'm envious those who get to just stay home and do nothing. No, I used to do that, and then I complained about that it's just kind of boring. But now I'm just all over the place. So I went to out to Norfolk, Virginia for that dance thing, and that was really awesome. And a couple of friends that went with us this year, and it was really fun hanging out with them and just doing the whole dance thing, and learned a lot. And it was kind of funny because they play there's a party every night where we do a dance party, and so they play all these different styles of music. And I mean, I know a lot of different dances. I know, like, cha-cha, from cha-cha to Viennese waltz to you name it, but you can't really know them all. Like, there's just so many different styles of dance, and so I haven't quite learned polka yet, and I haven't learned my merengue. Merengue is not really tough to do. You just kind of bounce around, but both of those lend themselves well for timing for a line dance. So Kelly and I, we were out there while everyone else is dancing around in circles on the outer fringes. We were out in the middle doing line dances, and
that's fantastic, actually.
So we did like Shoddy Got Moves to a polka. We did Fuego to a merengue, and what's funny is, like, everyone I guess saw us doing that, and they were really fascinated and were asking us questions about these orchestrated dances that we were doing in the middle during all these dances and such. And so I went to a ballroom camp, if you will, and the only thing anybody remembers about me is that I did line dances at the parties during a couple of the songs. But it was kind of funny. But anyway, I got back safely and all that, and yeah, good times. How about you, man?
I think I speak for everyone when I say I love this dancing incarnation of Elroy.
It's a weird thing.
It's just so unexpected. Like, you love gamer score, you love games, you love flexing, you hate racing games, and you love line dancing.
It's
It's just
it
so out of left field, and it makes me happy every time you talk about it.
I appreciate it.
Maybe I'm not speaking for everyone else there, but I freaking love hearing your dancing update.
Well, thank you, I appreciate it. I didn't see it coming either, so, yeah. Anyhow, well, how about you? How was your holidays and all that?
Good. I mean, obviously we got our cat.
Yeah?
We not to double down on that, but we met her before Christmas, on the 22nd, I think. And then we're
Mhm.
like, all right, let's take some time to mull it over because we didn't know she was gonna, shut down like she did. And then we decided what date was that? And then on the 30th, or we decided probably on like the 26th or 27th, and then we were able to bring her home on the 30th. But other than that, holidays were fine. Um, we had my mom and stepdad down for Christmas dinner. We just got Chinese. I know some people are like, "Oh, what a shame that you don't cook," but like, no, how awesome that we didn't have to cook. So that's sort of our yearly tradition. New Year's, we didn't actually do anything for New Year's, to be honest. I was gonna say we kind of just bummed. We didn't even really do that. We just snacked and watched the ball drop, and that was about it. So nothing exciting, but just a really relaxing couple weeks stay at home
Oh,
that
okay.
I think Kelsey really needed, and I was happy to attend as well. The other big update, not to give a second one,
Uh,
and I mentioned this in Discord, but I started streaming on Whatnot from the game shop. The first one was Thursday the 2nd, and it was an overwhelming success. At one point, we were actually the number one stream on the whole app, on the
mm,
whole site. The boss of the store was, I don't want to say he was like hesitant or like had reservations, but I think he was like 95% on board. Like, yeah, I'll let X handle this. And then he pretty much he's like, "Whatnot's yours, man. Like, if you want to, like, go for it." He's like, "You were so damn good. I cannot compete with what you did. The stream is yours." So every Thursday morning, I'm gonna be streaming from Planet Retro Video Games on Whatnot. Come check us out.
what do you stream exactly? I guess, just retro games or just, like, what
Yeah,
y'all
a
got
little
going
little bit
on?
of everything. So we had just a nice mix of stuff to start off the first one. We had some NES games, some
Oh,
Super
nice.
Nintendo games, just some loose PlayStation discs, some manuals, that way if you have like the
Mhm.
game in the box, but not the manual, you can get that from us. Just some merchandise, some like carrying bags. And then I just did a store tour where I
Oh.
literally just toured the whole shop. We sold like 140 items in 4 hours,
Oh,
and then
wow.
we packed them all up the same day. Like it was hectic and crazy, and the store was open at the same time. So, like,
Oh,
the
wow.
owner was at the register, and then me and the other employee, Steve, were like, I would show the showcases, hold the phone up, and someone would be like, "Oh, go pull out, Left for Dead 2," and then he'd be behind and he'd pull out Left for Dead 2. So we were a good team, and it was a ton of fun, and it went so well that boss, he's like, "There you go, day 1. We're doing this every week now."
That's really
So
cool, man. I like it. I'll have to check it out.
we do. We have everything from retro. We have Atari all the way up to PS5 and Series X and everything
Oh,
in
man.
between. So if you're looking for a game, we probably have it. And I promise this is the last time I will plug this. I know the Discord's tired of hearing me talk about it, but if you're looking for a game, man, we probably got it.
That's cool. On the cats, when you try to incorporate a new animal, especially cats, it's funny to look online and all the different varied opinions on how to properly do it. I don't think any of
Yeah.
them actually work. I don't know, maybe some of them do, but every time we've tried it, it's just always been a dumpster fire to incorporate a new cat into, an existing cat's habitat. Ugh, it's just that's rough. Usually results with pee on everything, let's be honest.
Oh no.
So, I hope that's not
Yeah,
the near future.
yeah, Kels and I are a bit at odds, I guess. Like we don't really argue, but we're kind of going back and forth on this. I grew up with cats. Like I always had
Uh,
5 plus cats growing
oh,
up.
geez.
So I have, 30 years of empirical evidence that when we would bring a new cat home, we would just bring it in the dining room in the front door and then open up and say, "Here you go, sport, welcome home. Welcome aboard." And then you meet the other cats, and some of them are gonna hiss and swat, and within
Yeah.
12 hours, you guys will be best friends. And it worked every single time. I counted it up. I had 27 cats growing up. It worked every single time. Kelsey had one cat growing. That was it, one. So she's like, "I've never had 2 cats. How do we do it?" So, yeah, she's looking at all the internet things, and we have to let Sophie Starfruit feel safe for, like, a week before she meets Miku. Meanwhile, Miku knows there's another cat in the bathroom, so she hasn't shut up in a week. So, it's been an adventure, to say the least.
Man, I've seen some wild stuff out there, like, wrap them up in a towel and then wrap the other cat up in the same towel to get the smell on them and all this stuff. And we did like a screen door. We took a screen off our window and then I like duct taped it to the door frame where they could see each other through the screen. And then
Okay.
we ended up getting, pissed going through the screen at each other. And so I don't know. And maybe it's just we got the wrong cats, but I,
That's what I mean, like, maybe I got lucky with all my cats, but, like, there has to be something if it worked every single time. Come on.
yeah, no, I like your approach. I mean, I know my approach doesn't work. So anyhow, that's cool. I
This is
like
our
that.
cat prime number podcast.
It is. Let's get into some updates, shall we? I feel like this is going to be a repeat from last week, given that I'm going to give you the same updates. But
Oh, jeez.
anyhow, Friday the
But
13th.
they're different sides of the updates.
Yeah, Friday the 13th, I ended up going for the 1,000 matches for Jason. That's the half of them, and then you do 1,000 for the counselors. I ended up getting the 500 for the counselor, so 1,500 matches. I set up a wonderful, intricate system of doing this where I had two of my little robotic friends dueling it out on two televisions, and that was interesting. I had never really considered having a script before, and it was tough to get it synced just right. And so I finally got one that was working for the killer, but then man, my counselor script was just crap, man. I couldn't get that thing to last more than 90 minutes or not even 90 minutes. I mean, it would go bad really fast. And so I had to do some changes, and finally I got it to where it would run a little bit, usually get about 10% of the achievement before it crashed. Because if you're off by just milliseconds and you run it enough times, it's going to get off on like seconds, but it adds up. So you have to be able to start and stop the scripts at the same time, and then when you go to play it, you have to hit. I know it sounds very easy to push the mouse button down at the exact same time, but there's just slight milliseconds there, and then it would crash eventually. And so, very pleased that I got the 1,000 matches in, and then I got the 500. But then I just ran out of time. However, the servers are still up. I don't know; they haven't taken them down
Oh,
yet.
shoot.
So I only got 488 matches to go with the counselor, and I'm thinking,
You're gonna go for it
I'm
then, aren't
like,
you?
"Oh, man, it would piss me off so bad if, like, I got to, like, 900 and then they just shut down the servers." So I'm really gonna be playing with fire, but I think I'm gonna do it.
Oh, man.
I think I'm gonna set it
Smart.
back up today, and I'm gonna go for it. And then if there's time permitting still, I may go for the kills because there's a good kill cheese where you can get, like, 100 kills in a match using, like, a series of where you set a bear trap in front of a closet and then you get in the closet, but the bear trap kills you, and then he pulls you out of the closet, so then you become like a ghost. Then you go sit in a car, and then you pulls you out of the car over and over. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but it seems pretty solid where you can get like 100 kills each time. But so yeah, so that's Friday 13th. I'll probably even have one last update on that silly game at some point. But I did get over half the achievements, and I feel good about it. And it's just the gift that keeps giving. I feel like I've been talking about that game for like a month and a half.
So do the rest of us. Oh, hang on. I wanna say he sent me pictures of his setup, and he has the achievement progress tracker up, and you can see what he actually played in the darker color, and then just the robot progress, build it up the rest of the way, like, it got the job done, man, like,
Yeah, I was really proud of that. Like,
impressive in
thank
its
you.
own right, for sure.
It took about 12-ish tries to get a script that would keep running for a long time, and the final one actually ran overnight successfully, and so that was the one that finally popped it for me. But what was really interesting is that I went off to celebrate Christmas, and there was only, like, a certain percentage left, and by the time I got back from my mom's house, it was at, like, 99.9%, and it
Oh,
literally,
that's right. That's right.
I got to watch it. Like it rolled over. It was really cool because they're talking 1,000 matches. I mean, what are the odds? I'm sure that you can actually figure it out, 0.005 or whatever. So, but there was like 2 matches left, and so I got to watch the achievement actually roll over and pop. So that was kind of cool. I was glad that I got that. That was some nice closure there. And so then I immediately switched to counselor mode and swapped, and had yeah. The other update I have is on the PAL console. I was contacted by a wonderful listener, Johnny, who is going to sell me his. So he's just got to finish up his stuff there, and I really appreciate him doing that. I met him at Achievement Fest last year. Cool guy. He's going to sell me his PAL console at some point in
An
the near future.
actual PAL
Yes,
console.
yes, he knows what he's talking about. He's he's an actual achievement hunter, and he can vouch that this is an actual PAL console. I trust him on this. I think it's actually going to happen soon. So stay tuned. I'm sure there will be another update on this at some point. So I'll just keep copying and pasting the
what we're all
updates.
waiting for.
I just copy and paste the updates until next week, until the next week. I don't know. Is Friday 13th a Final Fantasy game or something? I don't know. How about some real game chat and get out of these updates?
All right, so every week or every 2 weeks, as it is, we go through and we're like, what games are we going to talk about for our game chat? And I've been focusing exclusively thus far on games that I thoroughly enjoyed. And then I was looking through this week, like, what am I going to talk about? Looking for a game that I thoroughly enjoyed. And then I saw this game that I will not reveal yet, but you know what it is if you read the show notes. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the one. I have to talk about this game. I have to talk about it. So the game in question is XIII, or 13, of course. Oh man, where to even begin? So the original 13 came out, I think it was a GameCube exclusive in 2003, and it's based on a Belgian comic book series. And in the game, the basic plot is you are an agent, but you have amnesia, so you don't remember anything. You wake up in like this cabin on the beach, and the story. I'll spoil the story a little bit. Basically, someone wants to. Do I even want to say this on the air? Someone wants to take out the person in the White House. I think I shan't not say those direct words, right?
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but yes, that's it. So you're the agent preventing the death of said important person, and
Yeah.
you figure that out pretty early along the way. But of course, there's lots of twists and turns, and the original game is very, very highly received. It's like this cult classic. It was one of the earliest first person shooters with the twin stick controls, and it was one of those ones that, man, it came out in 2003. Why don't we have a remake or a remaster yet? Well, 2020 comes around. Well, I'm sure they started working on it earlier, but 2020 comes around, and Playmagic and Microids, I forget which one's the developer and publisher off the top of my head. That's going to be an easy click. Microids is the publisher. Playmagic is the developer. They said, "Hey, we're gonna remake this bad boy from the ground up," and they did. But well, they kind of made a completely different game based on the structure of the original. So, like the biggest issue is the original game had this really cool cell shaded art style. And I think we all know like what the cell shading is, right? It looked like a comic book. Even graphically, like 2003, it still holds up very well today, just because the art style, it's not, rigid and blocky. Like it looks really good. So this remake came out 17 years later, and they got rid of the cell shaded art style. It's just very generic looking first person shooter graphics. So that was a big disappointment. The game was full of bugs, which I'll talk about later. Not the good kind of bugs, but all the bad kind of bugs. Well, that's not true. There's one good bug, but it's mostly bad bugs. They just downgraded a ton of just like gameplay. Like there's fewer weapons. They took out some stealth sections and some stealth, like you can't You can't like call enemies into stealth anymore. They made the enemies like comically absurdly dumb, even on the high difficulties. They removed a bunch of the original sound effects. Like it used to be like if you shot, a piece of wood and you shot a piece of metal, it would make a different sound. No, now all you hear is just generic gun firing. It doesn't matter what you shoot. There's no like oomph to the guns. Like you kind of just hold it right in the middle of your screen and you can rapid fire pull the trigger and there's no, what's the word I'm looking for when you shoot and kickback. There's none of that. Like
No recoil.
they yeah, recoil, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's none of that. Like you're just this superhuman guy holding your gun in the middle. Um, like the NPCs, they don't react to things. Like there's one level you run into a bank and you start shooting, and the NPCs just stand there. In the original, the NPCs ran and hid, like things like that.
Mm.
Just some of like the movement, like there's no like strafing. Like you can literally walk sideways, but it's just walking. Like it's not like this sort of like dashing like you would expect in a first person shooter. So
Mhm.
they really dumbed it down.
Mm.
Um, and then just the animations in general were kind of laughable, but
Mm.
it is what it is. If we're talking achievements, we don't have the 2003 version. We have this janky as hell 2000 version. Here's what cracks me up. And I actually didn't know this until I was looking into it. So the game came out November 2020. I was excited to play it because I really love the original. So I played it in August 2021. So what are we talking? 10 months after release, right?
Mhm.
What I did not know until now was that in 2022, a year after I played it, 2 years after it came out, Microids, the publisher, hired a different developer. They said, "Hey, PlayMagic botched this so badly. We're gonna give you their game, give you their code." So they gave it to Tower 5, like just fix this dumpster fire that we published. So Tower 5 is the new developer. They put back the cell shaded visual style, so a complete graphical overhaul. They added a bunch like the sound effects. They added those things back in. They added online multiplayer, which I didn't check because I don't care about. They fixed a lot of the bugs, and they doubled the number of animations in the game. So they, by all accounts, it's a pretty decent clone of the original now, but it is still not as good.
So did they roll that out as like a title update of some sort or just a game update? And
Yeah,
then
no new achievements in the title update sense, but it just an update to the game.
so they just like completely changed it.
Yeah, pretty much. If you want to play the janky as hell original 2020 version, you'd have to find it on disc and play offline. Because if you buy it digitally, you're getting would it be the remaster of the remake, right? Is what it is. So yeah, if digital, you could only get the 2022 version, which again, I haven't played it, but as I'm looking at reviews and like it, by all accounts, it's much better received.
Mm. Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
it seems like far too little, far too late. You know what I mean? The damage was already done by the original release. So I I wanted to open with that background. I feel like that was kind of crucial
No, that's
for
fascinating.
X X said he didn't enjoy this game. Like, why not? Well, those were a lot of the reasons, right? I played the worst version of it.
Mhm.
But the game itself, there's 13 like chapters. Like it's sort of set up as like it's a series of 13 comic books essentially. Kind of cool how they did that. And then the movie transitions in between the cutscenes. That's I can't think of words today. Are like comic book style. Like they did a good job with that. So that was pretty cool. Why didn't I like it? Well, again, they dumbed it down from the game that I thought I was going to play. It was super janky. I have I don't post like everyone takes screenshots and records clips and whatnot. I don't ever post mine to the public because I don't care. I don't like getting the notifications of, random kid found your clip and hearted it. Like I don't care. The only one, literally the only one, Uno, was from this game. I'm stealthing my way down a hallway and this guy, I can't even describe it in words. His upper half starts like picture a tornado,
Uh-huh.
but of the upper half of his body. but he's also shooting the whole time, so you can see his bullets going everywhere. And I'm just standing there like, what is happening? Recording this nonsense. I'm gonna post that clip to TA because it's priceless. I think I've posted it before actually when other people have asked about the game, but I'm gonna post it now. So
Well, did it look like the Tasmanian Devil off Looney Tunes? Like, the guy
almost, but like a glitchy, pixely version. That's not a bad way to think of it. Yeah.
shooting guns
So
everywhere.
yeah, and then the other enemies are like, "This is totally normal." He does that all the time because they keep shooting at me. Yeah, I'll post the clip though. It's just very buggy. It's very janky. The core game is fine. Like I said, I really enjoyed it back in 2003. Um, the I don't know, the gunplay, it just didn't feel good. I don't know how to describe it. Like,
We described it well in the last episode we had together with, Indiana Jones. I think it was that
yeah,
one. Yeah, wasn't that, where the yeah, maybe it was the one before that. I don't know. You
I
talked
don't
about
know.
it where if it where you're shooting and everything
Oh,
felt
that wasn't yeah, it felt chunky, like, you pull the gun and
yeah.
you feel it in the control. Yeah, this didn't have any of that. So, like, in a first person shooter, you wanna feel like you're the character, and it very much didn't feel like I'm playing a video game right now that I don't necessarily want to be playing, if that makes sense. But I made it through. It's a short enough game.
Unfortunately, that makes way too much sense that you're playing a video game that you don't want to play.
Yeah, there you go. Finally something you can relate to, right?
I'm sure that many in the audience can relate to that 100%.
Oh, man. Yeah, TA says it's only an 8 to 10-hour completion. I have 11 hours in it. I see I probably just paused it and let it idle at some point. 8 to 10 seems about right. It's not a long game. It's $20. It goes on sale all the time. The achievements aren't bad, actually. It's a little collectible heavy. There's a bunch of achievements for, find your first collectible, find your first document, find all the documents. I didn't really bother with the collectibles. Um, you can pick up armor if you think like Wolfenstein, where you like pick up a helmet and then somehow it boosts your armor. So you sort of have like two health bars going on. There's med kits you can do. There are like one of the things I did like was there was a good level of creativity in some of the achievements, so I appreciated that. Um, do you feel lucky for killing an enemy with the last bullet of a revolver? That's a good one. Sting like a bee for destroy a punching bag with your guns, of course. Um, Davy Jones locker for drowning. There's a couple spots with water. You can't swim in the game. Like there's some good creativity there. And I'm scrolling through to see if I missed any fun ones. Generic stealth master, stealth eliminate 5 enemies in a row, snipe 5 enemies with headshots in a row, things like that. There's the basic ones. Last word, empty the magazine of a revolver using the alternate fire mode without missing any shots. That's where you just rapid fire, boom, 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 like cowboy style. Um, so there's some fun ones. Finish him, deplete
Mhm.
the armor of a fully armored enemy, then kill him with a melee attack. Like so the achievement list they put some thought into, which I appreciate. Friendly neighborhood, swing across 3 grappling hook. I could go on all day. I'm sort of just looking down the list here, but I liked the achievement list. I think honestly that kept me engaged more than the game itself, just trying to unlock some of these fun random ones.
Why have you been unable to get to the chopper?
Get to the chopper.
I don't know. It says you haven't
Which
got
one is
that one yet. I don't know. Finish some
oh,
stage in under
complete
3.
Sanctuary Cliff in under 3 minutes. I remember that one actually. My record's like 3:10,
Oh.
and after like 4 or 5 attempts, I'm like, "Ugh." I'm not going for the 100 anyway. I didn't bother with the collectibles, so it's fine. Yeah, I didn't get that one. Um, complete a level without being damaged. I think I think I probably did that naturally in the 2003 version, but
Mhm.
it's so janky that, like, enemies shoot you through walls here. Like,
Oh,
I
jeez.
couldn't do it. I do wonder if the remaster of the remake, I wonder if that one would be more feasible now. So that might be something to consider. The coolest achievement thing that I wanna talk about that by all accounts appears to still be a feature in the game, at least according to TA comments, um, there's 3 difficulties. So there's, X the hero difficulty, and then medium difficulty, and then, agent difficulty. I forget what they're all called, but easy, medium, hard. I played the whole game on easy, as one does, of course. But then you can just once you beat it, load up the last level on medium, and then you get the beat the game on medium, and then
Ah,
load up the last level on hard, and then beat the game on hard, and there's no combat in the last level, it's just the epilogue. So it
oh,
doesn't
that's
actually
awesome.
make any difference what difficulty you're playing on, it's literally just playing through the exact same it's like 10 minutes long, play through 3 times, but you have to beat the game, on easy first, and then you can cheese the medium and you can cheese hard. So that is one of the good bugs I was referring to earlier.
That is a good bug.
That is a great bug. If they're not gonna stack, at least let us cheese it, right?
Right, when I get to my game, you'll see why that's a very good bug.
Okay, alright. But yeah, TA has it classified as first-person shooter stealth, which I completely agree with. From the original 2003 version, honestly, stealth, it just didn't work in the version
Mhm.
I played. Maybe they updated the stealth mechanic, but you could not stealth. It very much was just a run and gun first-person shooter, which maybe that's why I didn't enjoy it because I don't like stealth, but like, let me peek around a corner and pop off a guy, and then they'll go investigate, like, oh, who killed this guy? And now it's just you poke your head around the corner, and suddenly like 60 guys are like, there he is! Like, what? No, no way. So,
Well, see, there's a call out to another game that tried to be a stealth game that isn't, which is there's an achievement called Join the Creed, and that's for stabbing 15 enemies from behind without being noticed. So
yep,
that's very Assassin's Creed-ish, yeah.
absolutely, yeah, good catch on that one. But that goes back to what I was saying. Like they put more effort into the achievement list than a lot of the other game mechanics for sure. Um, so yeah, I'll be curious if anybody picks this up because only a couple people on my friends list have even played it. If anyone picks it up, let me know how the remake of or the what am I saying? The remaster of the remake is because just the base remake, not not great, not
Mhm.
great, but I'll be curious to know. So, but that was XIII or 13.
Right. Well, you were talking about how bad the stealth mechanics are, but I mean, it's kinda hard to do stealth mechanics. I mean, is it any more unrealistic than there's a bush that whistles and then you go look into the bush, even though you just saw a dead body and you're like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, there's a dead body over there." And then you just start, going about your day. "Oh, there's a whistling in that bush. I should investigate." It's just so silly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so as I remember, granted that we were going back 22 years now, right? But as I remember, it was very much not like that because games were harder back in the day, right? So
Mhm,
you could
mhm.
stealth, headshots, but then you'd have to like hide the bodies. As soon as one
Uh-huh.
body was found, the whole area did go on alert. It wasn't like, oh shoot, I found a body, let me hide. And then after 30 seconds, everyone's just gonna forget that there's a dead body. Right, like we have today. No, it didn't do that. It was very much if you blew the stealth, get good, basically.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it didn't even have it didn't even have that option.
That's one of my favorite things about stealth games is how, like well, Assassin's Creed games in particular, where you can literally line up, like, 30 bodies right in a row, and, someone stumbles upon it, like, "Oh my gosh, those are all my friends. They were guards. They graduated from guard school the same year I did. Oh my gosh." And then, "Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
well."
guess it's fine.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind. They had a good life. I'll just stand here now, right, very close to where all these bodies were, and oh, what? Oh my gosh, there's this someone. There's a rock over there that just landed unexpectedly. Let me let me go
Is that
look.
hay bale whistling? The
Right,
hay bale from which the 30 corpses emanate
you're
out of?
right. They're all
Let
covered
me
in
check that
blood.
out.
There's like all this blood, oozing out of the bottom of the cart. But I don't know. I am a guard. I need to investigate this. So it is my job.
Just doing
So
my job, man.
I don't know. Stealth games are always silly to me, but I don't know. I when you start, was that the suspended belief of
Yeah,
suspension of
temporary
disbelief?
suspension of disbelief.
Yes, seems like we keep running into that a lot. Oh man, well, interesting. I never heard of this game, so that's I think it's pretty. The backstory is as fascinating as the game there.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd open up with that for anybody else who didn't know. Honestly, the best way to play the game is still the 2003 version, pulled up on an emulator. I don't even know if the disc is cheap or whatever. I should know that because it's probably in my shop. Um, but yeah, like if you want to play the game and you don't care about achievements, I know I'm talking to the wrong crowd, right? Just play the 2003 version. It really is far superior. Even after the remaster of the remake, it's still not as good as the original version from 19 years prior.
Well, I was going to talk today about a game that has, I don't know if there's 13 of them, but there's quite a few. And that is The Karate Kid
Oh,
Street Rumble.
now how is it like the original Karate Kid or like the
Oh,
Jaden
oh,
Smith Karate Kid?
great question. It is based on the original one. However, there's more to it than that. It's
Okay, all right.
actually, and I'll get into that in a second. But let me just give an overview of it, which is it's a beat 'em up. Spoiler alert.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's how it came across my purview, and it came out in September. This past September, it's 30-hour completion, and it's got 3500 TA right now, or 2500 TAD. And it actually has a physical release with it. I thought that was interesting. It has a physical release with it, so I reckon it's a real game. It's not just a a download game. And the game
all right. If
itself,
it passes the test,
right,
go on and talk about it.
right, yeah, it's a real game. It has a disc. But I was thinking, well, when I started it, the game takes you right into the original Karate Kid, but then I realized that it takes you into some of the sequels as well. And so I started thinking, well, I remember there was a Karate Kid 2, but I decided to do a little research on the Karate Kid, and it was kind of funny what I found. So the original Karate Kid, did you see it? Did it come out a little too early for you? I know you're a little younger than
I
I.
saw it when I was younger.
Okay.
I remember the premise of it. Yeah.
Okay. So it came out in 84.
Oh,
And that I was in the prime demographics of it because I was about the same age as the main guy in it, Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, and that's a heck of a name. I mean, how can you not get it? It's like there's like some real machismo dripping off that name.
Right?
So the original one. So that was the one that put it on the map. It was the franchise maker, and so I was looking up on IMDb, the movie database, and that one has a 7.3. So pretty well received. Definitely, anything over 7's considered good in my book.
Yeah, thank you for that. Just quick sidebar. I'm tired of this whole like, oh, 8.9, it didn't get a 9, it's hot garbage. Like, shut up. 8.9 is stellar. Go away. Get out of here. 7 is fine. 6 is fine. 5 perfectly average. What is this? Oh, 7 is a dumpster fire. Shut up. I hate you. Continue. I just had to get that out.
Well, you're a lot more generous than I basically, if it's under a 7, then I tend not to watch. I feel like at least a 7 means that it's good enough to go watch. So 6, I will watch
5
some
just
6s.
means just watch it. It's perfectly average. It's
Okay.
not gonna blow you away, but it's not bad.
Man, to me,
It's a
5 is
5.
just
It's
waste of
perfectly
time.
middling.
Man, 6 is as low as I go. 6 is as low as I go.
Alright,
Maybe a mid
alright.
6.
You're
So
good in my book.
the second one came out in 86, and I call this one Karate Kid 2, The Cash Grab. This was a 6.1. So it, gone down a little bit. And, a sequel come out 2 years later. It's kind of weird. They just all overseas in Japan and blah, blah, blah. I just remember little drum things. And that was all I really remember about it. This little things you spin and the little drums hit the side. Did you see this one?
No, actually, I haven't. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I did see number 2.
I didn't remember the plot at all. So if it wasn't for the game, I wouldn't have known what it was. But I just remembered like the little drums that have two little balls on it that swing side to side, and then if you rotate it, it like makes a drumming
Oh,
noise.
I do know what you're talking about. Okay, I have seen at least part of it then.
I'm sure they have a
Yeah,
name,
okay.
but I don't know what the name of those drums are. But
And he, like, meets the girl in that one,
yeah,
right?
yep.
Yeah, okay, I have seen it.
Okay, so that one is 86. Well, a little beknownst to me, a third one came out. I didn't see this one. A third one
Don't
came
think
out.
I knew that.
Yeah, it came out in 89, and so just before the 90s, and I call this one Karate Kid 3, The Dying Gasp.
Oh, geez.
This one clocks in at a 5.3. So maybe you would
Oh,
watch it, but I
that's
wouldn't.
like if I was into the first two, it tells me it's it's not good. It's just perfectly average. Finish out the story. It'll still have some enjoyable moments at a 5.3.
So it was basically a crappy 80s movie at this point. And so then as with many things, they decided to try to milk the Karate Kid thing. So there was actually one that came out after this, which was called The Next Karate Kid, which is got a 4.6. This is
Oof.
where Ralph Macchio disappears and he turns into a chick, the chick that has a horse face. I can't think of her name, but
Sarah Jessica Parker?
I think it's a different one.
No, it's definitely not her, but she has a horse face.
Yeah, no, that's a great guess. I think this is a different breed.
That's so mean.
It's a different breed of horse. This one, uh, but yeah. So then they decided, oh, that wasn't enough. So let's do the Karate Kid reboot in 2010. So now Ralph Macchio turns black, and so now it's a black guy, and that one got a 6.2. And then we have Karate Kid Legends coming out this year, and this is Ralph Macchio. They're like, just kidding, he's not black. Now he's Asian. He's running the whole gambit. I'm sure the one that will come out after this will be him as a redhead in a wheelchair or something like that. But I'm not really sure. I guess he's turned into Spider-Man because I think Spider-Man got the same treatment, if I'm not mistaken. But and then actually there's a TV show from 2018 to 2025 on Netflix. It's called Cobra Kai. So
Oh,
a little
yeah, yep,
spinoff.
yep.
I haven't seen it, but apparently it's doing well. It's got 8.4. But they brought back Ralph Macchio, so he's no longer a woman with a horse face or a black guy or an Asian guy. He's just himself.
He's
So
just Ralph Macchio.
right. So anyhow, there you go. That was some backstory. I'm not sure it was as interesting as the backstory you
I like
gave.
that neither of us coordinated this ahead of time, but we both gave some crucial background info
Right.
before talking about our games.
Indeed. So this this game was the original three movies before the Karate Kid changed sexes and turned different races. But this was the original three, and the game actually takes place sequentially as the movies. Fortunately, the bulk of the game is in the first one, the one that people care about. But once you finish the storyline of the first one, then it just takes you to like a different map, a different island map, which is, for the second one, it's, Japan because it takes place in Okinawa. Then you play a few stages there. And once you beat that, then you move on to the third one. Presumably, I haven't got that far yet. I'm still on the second one, but I can see the floor plan. It has all the stages kind of listed.
We can tell where this is gonna go.
Right, right. I see where it's headed. And so the first game, there's only 12 stages in the game. The first movie has 6 stages associated with it. The second movie has 2 stages associated with it, and then the third one has 4.
Wonder which one was the fan favorite.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, right? So anyway, but it does highlight the whole Karate Kid canon, I guess. I mean, the first one followed the movie as best I can remember it. The second one, I didn't really remember much about the movie, so I assume it's follows the same storyline. And then the third one, I don't have any clue really what that's about. I did look it up, and it has something to do with the guy that owned Cobra Kai has got some like bankrolled guy and it's causing trouble. I don't know. Anyway, I'll find out when I get there.
That'll be next week's update.
Right. Yes. Karate Kid 3, the update. But the game experience for it was very favorable. It was very retro. It had that beat 'em up feel to it. The sound was good. It had that chip tune sound to it. The not 8-bit per se, but the chip tune sound.
Yeah.
And so for some people, I guess that's probably not a selling point. For me, it is because I love chip tune music. The controls are solid. It has your typical beat 'em up controls. You have your regular punch, heavy punch, and then a special attack. There's a block button too that you'll never use because it's a beat 'em up.
It's not a block 'em up.
Yeah, that's right. Not block 'em up. It's a beat 'em up. What is this? What is this button here? There could have been something cool. It could have been a kick. But the coolest thing about the game that I will, I guess, remember about this game is the energy / special bar integration. So in other games, it's just there and you can hit it and then it like performs the special and then you just slowly build it back up. And then when you get enough, you can hit it again and then it'll do it. And then if you don't have an energy bar, sometimes it takes off health and blah, blah, blah. That's kind of the beat 'em up recipe. But this one, they take it to, I'd say it's an improvement. Basically, there's 3 bars to it. And every time you use a special attack, it goes down 1 bar. That's nothing unusual. But it fills up every time you hit some, once you start wailing on folks, it just fills up pretty fast. But the cool thing about it is that it serves as like a shield. So every time you get hit, it goes down a little bit, but you can build it back up. And once it's empty, that's the only time you can actually take damage to your health. So as long as you're doing a good job of moving around the screen, like hitting people and not getting overly hit. The thing that drives me crazy is where there's a game where it has like so many enemies and it's just impossible to keep them all on one side of you. And so as you're hitting somebody here and you got this nice combo going and you're about to finish it, and then the dude just throws a random punch at you and it's like you just like freeze, and then it's just
Yeah, I know what
and then
you're
your
talking about.
combo resets down to 0 and all that. That's not what this game does.
Okay.
The combos are actually very generous, which I'll get to in a second. If you get hit in the back, it just makes like a shieldy noise, which doesn't really make sense, but it lets you know that you're getting hit. You have time to turn around and deal with it. So like you might be in the middle of a combo facing to the right, and then you can finish the combo to the left and knock them down, and then go back to wailing on the guys on the right. And it doesn't disrupt your combo. You don't lose health, because that's where a lot of these games get you, is that they just slowly chip away at you. Like they'll sneak in behind you and then punch you once or twice, and you get stuck and you can't move, kind of a thing. Those are poorly done beat 'em ups. This one, you can take a few hits. I view it as like real life, where you get, you got that adrenaline going. You're like just punching this dude in the face over and over. Someone hits you in the back.
You're not even really gonna
Right,
notice
you're
it.
not noticing because you're like in the zone. You got tunnel
Okay,
vision on it.
okay.
Yeah, so to me, I can make it work in my brain. It really helps also with the difficulty level achievements in this game. The game has 5 levels, so like you said before, you have the all the way from X level to Waka level in this game, but they do stack.
That's what I was gonna, point out. I won't spoil it for you if that's where you're gonna go. I like the name of the hardest difficulty level.
Go ahead, give it to us.
Oh, okay. It looks like there's no reward for easy or medium,
That's
but
correct.
then there's hard, very hard, and then no mercy difficulty.
Yep, that's it.
It doesn't mess around. You know what you're getting
No,
into with
no
no
mercy.
mercy.
Exactly. And researching, like, in the guides as best as I could research, is that there's really no difference in the achievement levels, like, or not the achievement level, the difficulty levels, but there's
Oh,
the only thing that changes is that you take off less health and they take off more health. It's one of those. But with the shield of the energy bar, you can kind of make it manageable. So I've started a hard run on it. Right, I started the game on medium, and I kind of wish I hadn't, because it is really easy. But
okay.
the hard mode seems about right, as far as you actually have to start trying. And so I've kind of slowly catching up to my medium run with my hard run, and I'll probably end up beating it for the first time on hard. And then to access the very hard difficulty, you have to beat it on hard. They won't let you choose very hard out of the gate,
Oh, okay.
or no mercy. I'm not sure if no mercy unlocks when you beat it on hard, or if you have to beat it on very hard to get to no
No,
mercy.
I actually happen to have that up because I was looking at no mercy difficulty. So yeah,
Oh,
beat it on hard unlocks very hard. Beat it
oh,
on
okay.
very hard unlocks no mercy. So you're looking at a minimum
3 playthroughs.
3 playthroughs.
Okay, that's what I suspected. Okay, yeah. So I've kind of I played halfway through the game on medium, and I think I'm just going to abort that and just continue my hard run, because
Might as well, yeah.
yeah, because it won't let you choose stage. So, like, for example, if you try to do stage 3 on hard difficulty, you have to beat stage 1 and 2 on hard in order to access it on hard on stage 3. So I can't resume my playthrough on hard, where I'm at currently, because I didn't get there using hard. So, yeah. Anyway,
Oh, okay, I see what you mean, I see what you mean.
yeah, so you have to take it from start to finish. So there's no, like what you were pointing out, that nice bug where you just load up the last level and beat it on the hardest, and whatever difficulty, and bleep bloop, get the achievement. So on the first playthrough, regardless of what difficulty you choose, you'll also unlock another 16 story-based chivos. So there's one for each of the 12 levels. There's only 12 levels. One for beating each of the Karate Kid movies. So there's 3 of those. So it's when you beat the first 6 stages, for example, then you'll get the achievement for beating the first movie. And then when you beat the next 2 stages, you'll get the one for the second movie and such and so forth. And then they just give you one just because for beating the game for the first time.
Just because.
Yeah, just because, you beat the game for the first time. Sure, here you
Double
go.
bleep bloop.
Yeah, there you go. So actually triple. So if you beat it for the first time, you'll get the one for beating stage
Oh,
12.
that's true. That's true.
Beating Karate Kid 3, and then also beating the game for the first time. So it should be a triple bleep bloop. It could be a quadruple bleep bloop if you beat it on hard the first time. See? Yeah, I
Whoa.
know it. And then the other thing that I really liked about the level was, or the game was the level ratings thing that they had. Another thing I really dislike about most beat 'em up games is when they have the beat each stage with an S rating. I hate the S rating thing. It's just,
Yeah, as do I.
it's
That's
just
the
not.
bane of my Devil May Cry experience.
Yeah, I guess some other genres have it, but they have it in like got too many beat 'em ups, and just like, oh gosh. So like usually it involves you have to keep your combo going, which if when beat 'em ups you have waves of enemies. That's what makes it a beat 'em up. So you have to progress a little bit, and then you get a wave of enemy, progress a little bit, get a wave. You have to like sprint and hurry up and like dash, like dive and hit somebody to keep your combo going, and then can't recover and not get hit. It's just too much. There's some games like that where you just they got it too spaced out that the time for your combo to run out always runs out, and then you got to start your combo over again, and you can't get your rating thing because of that. That's the thing that I really hate about the S ratings. And here it's not like that. So they give you 3 very doable challenges, such as kill 15 enemies with aerial attacks, or kill 15 enemies with a heavy attack, kill 10 people with your special attack, things like that. So those are really easy. You can just kind of do that as you're progressing through the stage. The only one that's kind of difficult is don't take any damage in the stage. But if you're having trouble with that, you could always play it on like an easy mode, and I'm sure you wouldn't take any damage. I played it on medium, and I get hit not very often. So I'm sure easy is just
Easy.
we get hit. Yeah, just easy. We get hit at all. But even if you don't get one of those, I think it's still possible. I'm not sure. I haven't really played around with it. If your combo goes long enough, which it can, like it's very fair, and the enemies boot up really fast. So you can keep a combo going for a long, long time and get like a 500 hit combo, and it's not unusual. You're going to get long combos and get more points for that. So
Man, Daniel-san knows what he's doing.
yeah, I mean, there's lots of enemies and everything. So yeah, so as long as you keep your combo going, you don't die, you're probably going to get the level rating achievements, which is you get one for A or higher, and then you get one for S or higher. So they do stack. So if you just get S's on everything, you get both of those at the
Oh,
same time.
nice.
So yeah, so it's doable.
You know what? I forget what game it was. But it was like get an A ranking, get an S ranking, and if you got an S ranking, it didn't unlock A, and it was hard to not perform like poorly, like to get an A. Like the S was easier, and
Oh,
then
no,
you would get B if you kind of sucked. Like it was really hard to get an A. I don't remember what game that was,
oh,
but
that's
it didn't
frustrating.
stack, and it drove me freaking crazy.
That's terrible. Yeah, that's poor.
Yeah, that's gonna bother me. I'll think of it eventually. There's my update for next time.
There you go. Other than that, the experience has been good. It reminds me of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle beat 'em up game. Just rather than turtles, you got Karate Kid characters.
Karate Kids.
It's a couch co-op. The levels are quick and varied enough that it doesn't like outstay its welcome. For example, one stage like the famous Halloween skeleton costume, and Karate Kid one where they all are in
Yep,
karate.
yep.
Yeah, and they chase him. So there's a stage where you're being chased, and there's a timer, and you have to defeat the enemies. You get extra time if you defeat that wave of enemies, and you keep running to the right, until your time runs out, or until you get to the end. And if you get it all the way to the end, then it makes the boss battle easier. If you get caught up before that, then it's supposed to be more challenging. Now, this is all presumably because I didn't actually try this. I made it all the way to the end with no problems because, again, I'm on medium difficulty. It is very much easy, but I assume on like the higher difficulties, I don't know. I may try it where I just sit there and don't even get through the first wave and see what the enemy looks like that comes in and just dump trucks you. I don't know, but it may be actually a nice cheese way to get through the level faster. I don't know
Oh, yeah, that's true.
if the enemy is not that difficult. It may be actually easier. I don't know, but much like TMNT, had their 4 characters to choose from. So you got Daniel and Mr. Miyagi, and then there was
Oh, you
2.
can play as Mr. Miyagi. That's
Oh
kind of cool.
yeah. He's one of the 4 characters, and then the other 2 were just 2 chicks that I have no idea who they are or whether they had horse faces or not. I don't know. One was called Ali, and then the other one is Kumiko. So I assume one of them
Oh,
came
yeah,
from the second
yeah,
one, maybe.
Kumiko, and I don't. Yeah, she's the girl from the second one, I think.
Okay, yeah.
And then it's got to be Ali, right? Not Ali. Ali
Oh,
is a dude.
it says Ali. I don't know. Ali.
Well, it's Ali. It's got to be Ali, like Allison.
Statistically speaking, I think in the world that the surnames, I think Ali, Ali is more likely than Ali. But
Well,
I
you
didn't.
said it was a girl.
It is a girl, but
Looking at a picture, it's a blonde girl.
well,
So I'm going with Ali.
you're probably right. All right. Anyhow, I don't know who they were, but apparently the Kumiko chick is the overpowered character for the game. According to the guides, it says use her because she has like all these perks when you get low energy, where she just becomes like invincible and you just destroy everyone. I don't know. I haven't played around with them. I've just played with Daniel so far. And I don't know if the characters are distinctly different or not, or if they're just wearing different headbands, kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and have different weapons. I haven't explored really the character differences yet, but there are 9 achievements tied to the characters. There's each of them have one for getting to level 10, and then there's one for max level. And I don't know what max level is. I couldn't find any information on that. I don't know if it's 99 or 15 or 20. I don't know what max level is, but there's one for level 10 and then for max level. I haven't really been able to tell that as you level up if there's really any improvements to the character. I guess there probably is, but if there is, I haven't really noticed any difference in the gameplay, but I'm sure I'm probably stronger for the later stages. But again, I've been playing on medium mostly, so it's been really easy.
Right.
The only issue I really have with the game is that they could have added some more unique enemies, because you're beating up like a whole lot of people, and it's amazing how many twins are out there and quintuplets and everything, right?
Just like all these guards in Assassin's Creed, one really big family that you just took out.
Right. And and I get that. I understand why that is. But I guess the thing that bothers me is that you have a completely different game where you're flying out to Japan for Karate Kid 2, and like in America, you were fighting like a bunch of white dudes and black dudes with like chain whip things. Well, you get to Japan and then there's just an Asian dude with the same weapon that just looks like he's Asian instead of, a white dude or a black dude. It's like they just changed the enemy's cosmetics, instead of, that was their chance to introduce a whole new set of enemies, right? But they just use the same ones and just make them all look Asian. So it was just kind of lazy there, but other than that, I really don't have much.
I kind of want to see that now.
Yeah.
I'm looking through the pictures on Xbox.com, and I gotta say, like, actually, I really like the art style. It's
It's cool.
retro pixel style, but it's modern retro pixel. I don't know how else to describe it. It looks really good though.
It is. It's a really good game. It's very well paced. It's enjoyable to play. And again, the short stages I think work in its favor. So like if you can just sit down and play it for 20 minutes on a break or something like that, you'll beat a stage and then you can just quit to the menu and next break, play the next stage kind of thing. So it's divided up in little digestible chunks. It's pretty cool, even though you have to do 3 playthroughs, but I've already talked about the achievements for the most part. And again, the game is the Karate Kid Street Rumble, because there's a lot of Karate Kid games out there, mostly the Cobra Kai games. So I already talked about the difficulty ones, which in the story ones, which is about half of the achievements. Then the character ones are another fifth of them, and some other random ones I included. But there's only 2 things I really didn't mention, which is the multiple game modes. So once you've beaten the game, I assume it unlocks them. I don't have them available for me to play. I was going to play them just to kind of fill them out, but they won't let me until, I guess, presumably I beat the game. But the first one is boss rush mode, then you got endless mode, and then there's an arcade mode. I'm not really sure what the arcade mode, what the differences are there, but I don't know. I
Probably
guess
like like limited lives, maybe.
Yeah, probably so. Then the boss rush mode is pretty straightforward, and it
Right.
actually it's all the different bosses. I'm sure there's 12 of them because there's 12 stages and each one has a boss. But there's 3 difficulty ones tied to the boss rush ones, so those are a little challenging. And then the endless mode, you just gotta get to like wave 50, I think it is, and then the arcade one, just beat the game in arcade. So nothing crazy there. Those are all.
Oh, that might be a full extra playthrough in arcade
Oh,
mode then.
you're right.
You
Yeah.
might be doing 4 playthroughs
Oh,
minimum now.
man. That's gonna be a little rough.
Ugh.
It's really not a long game, but, still though, 4
Still 4
playthroughs.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not great. Uh, but well, and I feel like we're just throwing a turd sandwich on this at the end, but the last one is actually the worst Chivos in the game. The worst achievements in the game that would probably throw some people off, especially if they're completionists, is the training games. So in between each stage, there's like a training, well, not every stage, but most of the stages, there's a training stage in between them, which ties into the game or the movies. So, for example, there's one where you have to catch a fly with chopsticks, and so you have to like wait until this like button presses where it's kind of like in Rock Band where there's a large circle coming in and then you got to hit it right when it hits the
Mm.
ring of the button press, and so you push it and there's it's basically like quick time button presses or timing things. And the problem is that perfect scores are pretty much the only thing that's going to get the achievement. There's only so much time, and you pretty much have to get perfect on every single one of them. They're awful. There's 6 of these challenges, and the crane one is the worst. It has the second highest ratio in the game, the crane one, and it has the second highest ratio because there's a platinum achievement that I didn't mention that has the highest one, and
Mm.
that's because of the crane one, because nobody can freaking do the stupid crane practice game where basically it's a pendulum swinging, and so you have to hit the pendulum in the sweet spot in the middle of it, and when you hit it you get points for that, and then it swings up and comes back down and you got to hit it in the middle. It sounds easy enough, except for every time you get it right, it speeds up. And so there's no way you can keep up with it. I mean, you're probably going to have to write a script for it where you figure out
I was just gonna say, maybe you have a little robot friend that you can get the timing down.
right, where you like cut the time in half by a half each time. I'm not sure. I'm sure you can figure out their formula that speeds up the thing, and then you can just hit perfect each time. But yeah, that one sucks, man. That
I'm
one's
reading the comments on that. The guide is like, I spent probably 6 to 8 hours. The comments like, this is a pain in the arse. Um, I spent over 4 hours and I only managed a 42. You need a 90 for the achievement.
It's insane. That one is insane. The other ones
Huh.
are a little more doable for the most part. I haven't got to some of them, but the ones I've done, I've been able to get them, within like 10 tries for most of them. But that one is just, oh, it's so bad, so bad. So that one, if you're a completionist, I don't have any good news for you there. Other than that, yeah, it's a great game. I would suggest it, especially if you enjoy a good beat 'em up. Definitely check it out. It's well done and it's modern, but yet retro at the same time. And there's some pretty cool game aspects like that shield bar slash energy bar thing majiggy that's really good. And the level ratings aren't bad. So all in all, I would recommend this game. It's a good one.
Okay. Yeah, it I guess my biggest issue with beat 'em ups is I'm just not very good, but this one sounds like it has the casual option basically. Like,
Mhm.
I just want to beat some people up. Let me do that.
Yeah, just play it on easy, and if you don't care about the completion, you'd enjoy it. Just play through real quick, blah blah blah, bam, you've done, and don't even worry about difficulty ones, and then just call it a day. And definitely don't worry about the training game ones. Just call it a
Yeah.
day and enjoy the experience and move on.
Yeah, for perspective, just for anyone wondering like how hard could it be? 3 or 5, sorry, 5 people on TA have this one out of well, 291. Not a whole lot of starters. Not not quite the sample size I thought. But if you look at the other achievements, like how many people have beaten the game on oh, where did it go? 10 people beat the game on No Mercy,
Mhm.
but then only 5 people have the perfect in this crane game. So like, yeah, it seems tough.
Assuming that there's only 5 completions for the platinum achievement as well. Then
3 actually. really weirdly.
Huh. I wonder
So
what.
yeah, two people beat Crane Game but didn't do something else. I was wondering
Huh.
that about that myself.
Yeah. Just to put a nice little juicy turd on top of the turd sandwich we close with on the game is that the platinum achievement is worth 0 gamer score.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, come on, really? Like
I mean, you still
that's
get your full 1,000 for playing it,
it's
right?
just it's just I don't know. Just there's something that doesn't set well with me when you do that. You should at least get some out of it. I don't know. But anyway, but yeah. So how about the opposite of that? Well, let's move on to some quick little baby games, I suppose.
All right, so I'm not gonna go super in depth, and I think actually the game has been mentioned on the podcast in passing, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
But Goosebumps, Dead of Night, not just Goosebumps the game. That one's like a point and click adventure.
Right.
But this is Goosebumps Dead of Night, which is first person. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna call this survival horror. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it out there.
Really?
I know it's Goosebumps Dead of Night. It's a tie-in when the movie came out. Well, I'm bringing this up because over Christmas break, Kelsey and I, we were like, "What should we watch? Let's just watch a movie." We were in a movie mood, and we're scrolling through, and on Amazon there was the Goosebumps movie, and we're like, "All right, let's give it a shot." Whatever. It has Jack Black in it. You know what? It was pretty darn good, actually. I
Mm.
liked it. I won't talk about the movie, but it goes into all the R.L. Stein books and all the classic monsters show up, and I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. And that reminded me of how much I thoroughly didn't enjoy the game. And let me be clear, it's not that the game is bad. I think the game itself was actually well put together for a quick little kids movie tie-in. But y'all know how I don't do scary. This game messed with me, man. Like, it's made for kids, and I I couldn't handle it. So TA says it has a 1 to 2 hour completion,
Mhm.
and the video guide that I remember using, it was like 90 minutes. I have 3 hours in this game because I kept just freaking out and like having to pause and take breaks and just stress dying at like stupid stuff. And it's not like ultra scary. Like, there's like silly robots that stalk you, and that's fine. The gummy bears pop up in the house, like, like, none of it is inherently scary if you know the Goosebumps books, but like, I can't do it, man. It was too much for me. So I just thought I'd give a shout out because we watched the movie. I can watch scary movies no problem, but playing them, no, not a chance. Um, but yeah, it says 1,000 gamer score, obviously, for 1229 TA, a 1 to 2 hour completion. The only nothing's missable, everything's very obvious. It won't be scary for any of you. The only curveball is that long after the game came out, like, I'm talking years after the game came out in 2020. I think this is like 2022, 2023 maybe. They added a title update with extreme mode difficulty, with more monsters, more scares, and more challenges. And of course, there's a title update achievement for beat the game in extreme mode, which I will never do because wimp mode was too scary for me. Um, so I don't know if you can play that one off the bat or if this does now require two playthroughs. But so yeah, that's my little baby game shout out. Goosebumps Dead of Night. If you're a wimp like me, avoid it. If you can handle children's novels, go for it.
Where does it compare with the Red Scene in Dead Island 2? Is it better,
Oh
worse?
man, that was traumatizing. This was just stressful.
All right.
I
Well,
like that you take every opportunity you can to remind me of that damn red scene.
you're welcome.
That's like the fourth time you've brought it up
It's
across our various recordings
yeah,
now.
that's what friends do. Yeah, there you go. So you said this is ties into the Jack Black movie. That one came out in 2015 and has a 6.3 rating on IMDb, by the way.
Did it come out in 2015?
Right, and this movie.
Wow, okay. I don't know. I mean, the bad guy in the movie is Slappy the dummy,
Oh,
and the
I think that's always the thing.
the main bad guy in the game is Slappy. So I assumed they were connected, to be honest, but
Uh, I
perhaps not.
I think Slappy's the bad guy in the first one, the point and click one too.
Is he?
I think so.
Oh shoot, I think you're right. Maybe Slappy's just popular. Maybe they just made a Goosebumps game.
Yeah, you know.
That could be. You know what? I just assumed they were connected. It was a tie-in.
Oh, All
So
right.
you got me there, actually.
For me, I'd use ExitMan Deluxe. ExitMan Deluxe, it's kind of, I guess it's a newer game, 2023, early 2023 it came out. And it's about Rainy Frog. Rainy Frog, they actually
Greedy
collaborated.
frog.
Yeah, they collaborated with Radalaika on one game, but that's not this one. This one is kind of I don't know, it's like an absurd, but just a fun absurd. So do you remember the game show called Hole in the Wall where you had to
Yeah,
yeah, where you had to
that was
pose and
that was dumb fun. I really liked that, actually.
yeah, and I think there's actually an Xbox game on the old
I
360
I think, isn't
Kinect.
it Connect? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's kind of like that in a way, except for, and I know there's another game just like this, but I couldn't for, and maybe you'll say, oh, it's just like that game. And I'll be like, oh, that's the game I couldn't think of. But the ceiling is the enemy, and so the ceiling has an opening in it, and there's a door in the opening, and the goal is to get before you get smashed to death, which is I think about 1.5 seconds maybe. You have to move your character into the opening, and then you get extra points if you land inside the door area. So think of a giant green ceiling with one or two white openings, which can vary in size from very small to larger openings. And then there's a door inside each one of the openings. If you get in the door, that's awesome. It actually speeds you up, where then on the very next smashing of the ceiling, you can get to where you need to get faster. So there's an advantage to hitting the door, but it's not required. And at some point, you'll get so fast if you are playing this for a while, and you'll keep getting speed, and then it just becomes unmanageable because you're too fast and you can't
Mm.
tell where you stop or anything. But the games aren't designed to last a long time. So you load up the game, and if you just play like a regular mode, you'll start off and the ceiling will come crashing down. And if you're not in that opening, the game is over. That's pretty much it.
Okay. I don't know what game you're talking about, but the art style, it reminds me a lot of N plus.
Okay. I never played that one.
Okay. For anyone curious, it looks like visually, it looks like N plus. Yeah.
The characters all look like things that would come off of signs like on the street that like no walking or pedestrian crossing type. It's that kind of artwork. They all look like something off of road signs. But the actually that's one of the things I like about the game is that there's all kinds of cool cosmetics that go with it. You get coins for playing the game and hitting the doors, and then you can use them in the gotcha machines, which if you're in Japan, those are the little machines you put coins in, and then you get little balls that have things in them. Like it's a whole thing over there. But the gotcha machine is in this game, so it's very Japanese feel to this game. But also, you can get all these different characters. I'll be honest, I used the cat, but I bought the cat, and the
Why
cat was
wouldn't
cute.
you use
Yeah, the
the
cat was
cat?
cute. But there's some that were there's some really funny ones, and that's actually one thing that was funny is that there's a mode where you have to go against the AI, and every time you beat the AI, you rank up. It's one of two more challenging achievements in the game, and by challenging, I mean it's all. I'm not saying these are super challenging, but there's two achievements that
This is our baby game section.
right. So you're looking at a 1.54 ratio on getting rank A in the AI mode, and it just means stringing together a series of wins. I was I haven't gone back and done it yet, but I got from you start at C minus ranking, and every time you win, you get like 30 points, and if you lose 20 points. So you got to win more than you lose, and I think each level is like 100 points. So I'm not sure what the math is there, but yeah, you go from C minus to C to C plus to B minus to B, and you have to get to A. And there's also an achievement for getting to B, but and then the other mode that's a little more challenging is the 100 to 1 mode. And this actually kind of reminded me of that game. It was like 1 versus 100, where you have to like outlast 100 people. I guess there's a lot of games like that now, like Fall Guys and everything like that, where you have to be the last one standing. But I'm not sure if you're actually playing against human opponents or not, or if you're just playing against AI bots. But I couldn't tell. It all happens so fast. You can't tell that you can't really see the names of who you're playing against.
Gotcha. Oh, that I feel like for a $5 game
It's
though,
probably just AI.
it's probably AI.
Yeah. The reports on that are varying. That it takes like 50 waves. The highest I got was I think 19 or 13, and that was like 20 something waves. But I just got to sit down and do it. That one has like a 1.2 rate ranking or TA ratio, or whatever. So yeah, it's not. I mean, it's a baby game, but it does require a little bit of skill on a couple of achievements. But all in all, you can get all the achievements really fast in like an hour. It's a cool little game. Some of the artwork's really funny. Like there's this one character that's like standing on his head and he's like moving. He's like moving really fast on his head. There's like a seal. There's like a drone. Things like that. Some of the characters are really distracting. So if you're trying to beat them in the AI mode, like you're watching the characters, and I don't know, it's kind of funny.
I'm saying it looks like there's like a witch flying on a broomstick.
Yeah, but
There's someone on a Segway.
right. There's no advantage to one character over the other. It's just whichever one. They all are the same size. So ultimately, you have to land in the opening.
Gotcha.
There's not like a mouse or something that's like a cheat where it's hard to, it's so small or something like that. They're all the same size. It's just the cosmetics of it are kind of funny, like the animations on them. Some are a little more distracting. But it's a cool little game. And I don't know. It's got a 2.41 rating. I think people are just hating on it. I don't know. They're all wrong. Take it from me. It's a good game. It's enjoyable. It's a cool little junk food game that
I like that expression actually. So yeah, and it's $5 too. So like,
right, $5.
I don't want to say everyone can afford $5, but it's $5. Goosebumps was 20, by the way. I can't recommend that one for 20.
Quick
Sweet.
baby game. ExitMan Deluxe, $5. Give it a chance.
Okay.
But that actually ties into some random gaming talk I was going to tell you about, which is I attempted the 1-day foof yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I tried it. I thought that I would just roll out of bed and be able to do it. And I guess I was delusional. I'm not really sure what made me think that I could do this, but I thought, yeah, I'll just get up and score 100,000 gamer score in a day. So needless to say, what is there? There's all kinds of expressions, failure to prepare is preparing for failure. Well, that's what I think that's the quote, but that's what happened to me. I failed. I fell just a bit short. I got to 52,990.
Just a bit short.
Yeah.
Barely halfway.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say like 85, 90,000.
Yeah. I got over half of a foof, but yeah, I'm honestly I was disappointed in myself. I don't know where the day went. I started that morning and I worked all the way through midnight, and I know it's possible. You just have to be better organized and plan it out better than I did. I mean, I literally put no thought into it. I just thought, man, I have all these games sitting around.
Let's just do this.
Yeah, I
think a lot of it is like do it on a new tag.
Oh,
where you have access to all the easy stuff.
Right.
You have so much of the instant stuff checked off already.
Right, but there's so many easy games that are like 3,000 gamer score. I thought, oh, this will be easy. I just have to do 33 games and easy. I don't know. In my head, I thought it was going to be really easy, but I went all Elroy Jenkins and was like, Elroy Jenkins, just started playing, and I don't know. It just didn't work out for me. And so then I thought, well, maybe it's more challenging than I thought. And so I went and looked up a bunch of the big names on TA that from the GTAS world, because I figured if anybody did it, they would have done it during GTAS while pursuing a bonus for getting the most achievements. I looked up all my teammates from Beast Mode. None of them had it. Most people got to maybe 30,000, 40,000 max. I looked up some of the other folks like Jimbot, Inferno, Infamous, all the big names and GTAS. Nope, none of them. None of them even got to 50. And I thought, well, maybe the recent Leapfrog winner had it. I think Black Blood is his name. Nope, no, nothing there. I guess he had to space them out more. But so then I just went through my friends list and looked at some people that I thought might have done it. And I actually found 3 people that had more than me. So I'm going to give them a quick shout out. So Snipe got to 68,000. Mental, he got 93,000. So he got close. He almost did a 1-day foof. And then
dude's mental.
Yeah. Well, then there's
5.
Then there's this one gentleman, freaking Lucas, 1987. Freaking Lucas is like a beast, man. Apparently for him, me doing this was me infringing on his territory. Like I didn't know this. No. I didn't know about this. Like I went and looked at his tag, and apparently on the first day of the year, for the last 2 years, he just puts up insane numbers. I guess it's like his way to kick off the year. I don't know. So I did mine on the second, and I mean, I was definitely playing second fiddle to him. So the day before I did it, he scored 81,000, and then a paltry 81,000, because the year before on the first, he scored 103,000. So
Wow.
he did it. He's the only one I could find that has done a one-day foof. So props to Lucas. I'm sure there's other people that have done it. If you are, let me know and I'll mention it in the update section. But props to him.
Nice. Okay. Well, speaking of big numbers, a certain somebody named Elroy OMJ recently hit 2.5 million gamer score. So, not full milestone musings or anything like that. This is just, fun milestone
Yeah.
section. But, what did you feel? What did you think? Were you pleased, frightened, ecstatic, disgusted? What did you say? What words did you speak? That's what we want to know. Tell me now, all of it now. Tell me yes.
Yeah, all that.
Anybody gets that reference,
I don't know that.
you're my new best friend.
It almost sounded like Arnold telling Prater to come kill him or something. Hear me now.
It
Do it.
it was not that.
I'm
I'm not
waiting.
gonna tell you what it was.
What are you waiting for? Kill me.
Get to the chopper. But anyway,
Yeah.
2.5 million. We all saw your flex picture with your freaking yellow energy saver sticker.
Indeed.
So
Yeah.
congrats to you on that one. That's a big one.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that was I've been putting it off for a while and just playing beat 'em up games, and so I thought that would be part of the adventure of doing a one day foof that fell very short. So that was the one
What
good thing
achievement
about it.
did you use to hit 2.5?
Uh, I used worth. Let's see what. Hang on. It was on Dark Gems, the Windows edition, because there's a 3-way stack on that, and the Dark Gems is whatever the one for taking the trip at the end. It's like the hard work was worth it or something. Let's see. Trip worth the hard work. There you go. So
Okay.
yeah,
See, I know you like to do some kind of meaningful something there.
I do. And so I was on a timeline of trying to keep a nice speed going. So this was the culminating achievement for that game. And I knew that I wouldn't have to put much work into it because I was 3,000 short. And that would be the last achievement in that game that I got. And I liked it well enough. So I used it. Trip worth the hard work for 2.5 million. I believe I was the 100, or let's see. I always keep track of this in my phone. Yeah. It was 177th to hit 2.5 million. So just for reference, I'm definitely slowing down. I was the 129th to hit 2.4 million and the 101st to hit 2.3, 79th to hit 2.2. So I'm definitely
Oh,
going
wow.
I'm going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, wow, that's actually crazy that there's that many people that high.
Right. So I've just really slowed down and on it. I just enjoy playing beat 'em ups now, I'll be honest. So
Well, we are all very proud of you for
well, thank
that.
you. Thank you. I got it out of my system. I told you I had the itch and I got the itch taken care of. And I realized yesterday as I sat on the couch all day doing this, pausing briefly to flex in front of my television and eat and things like that, that I was like, man, I'd just rather be playing beat 'em ups right now. But I stuck with it just to see if I could do it. And I failed. So there you go. I'm glad that I was able to not quit, but just fail with dignity.
Sweet. All right.
For my fun milestone, I just wanted to shout out Death Dealers. Death Dealers, she was completion number 646 for Friday the 13th. She finished the last two, the 1,000 matches as Jason, like late on the 31st and finished the game.
Oh, I see where you're going with
Yeah, like,
this.
and the servers were supposed to go down on the
Yep.
31st. So she should have been the last
The
completer.
last person to complete it.
Right. And so, I
That's
mean,
cool.
now granted, it's possible to finish it even if you haven't, if you got all the achievements that are marked as unobtainable at this point, and you've already gotten the online ones for the online matches, I think you can still finish the game because I think the game might still be functional and you can still work towards some of the achievements. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, she was the last one. She was what I viewed as being the last one to get that achievement. And since then, one person's already got it. So there's 647, but she was the one that did it on the right timeline. So props
All
to
right.
Death
Okay.
Dealers. So that's where I was going with that. But anyhow, so there you have it. Started off a new year. Was it the best show of the year so far?
show of the year so far deserves
Class dismissed.
to know the top 3 Roman numerals. Number 3, C. Number 2, V. And number 1, X, obviously.
Oh, I see what you did there. Top 3 things under my TV that confused everyone when I posted in Brad Camp my flexing pose for 2.5 million. Number 3, my Xbox license achievement trophy. Number 2, my 4 battery charging station. Number 1, Battle Cat's urn, which sits on a turkey platter. I don't know what was confusing about those 3 things, but
all right, we did correctly deduce number 3 and number 2 there.
Yeah.
All right.
I did like that Koosh was able to figure out that was a cat, but from playing all the hidden cat games.
Yeah. Cat.
He's like, there's a cat. Click on it. Anyhow, well, pleasure as always, my man.
See ya.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!